Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people. This is Will It Off-Road at the Races, the Bottom Dollar Bounties season. And we're already off in the Yosemite 1500. So, the background behind Will It Off-Road at the Races is at the end of each season of Will It Off-Road, we take a look at the two fastest and the two slowest vehicles from that season, which is typically the season revolves around one update. And then we take them racing. Oh my gosh, we did two people roll over. It gives me an opportunity to sneak in first. Yeah, we take them racing, and I know you're saying to yourself, Brandon, you said two fastest, two slowest, that's four. The title clearly says there's only two vehicles in this video, that's right. Because you're looking at the second fastest in the Yosemite 1500 that made it up the mountain in 2 minutes, 27 seconds. When we tested it, and then later in the video we will have an actual drift race that takes place here on the mountain, but with drifts scoring in placement with me in the Nebula Turbo drift spec, but you'll see some of the vehicles as well. And it was the next slowest, so the second to slowest. So basically we're looking at the second place vehicles, so second fastest, second slowest. The Nebula took 7:06, almost 7:07 to get up the mountain. And the next week we'll take a look at the Ubermacht Niobe and the Pegassi Pizza Boy. And I want to apologize here toward the beginning. I know I sound a little rough in this voiceover. I have been under the weather for several days now, and yeah, this is the most I can gather for a voiceover right now. Thankfully, I only have to do one. Doing this the night before this video goes live, just because of scheduling. Not ideal. I like to at least have a week before, but oh well. Mainly because, you know, things like this happen. You wind up getting sick, and then there's no time to wait to get better because you have to have a video out. That's why I like to be ahead, but no such luck this time. So yeah, we've got this week with Will It Off-Road at the Races, next week with Will It Off-Road at the Races, and then I think the Community Series might take a break. There might be a G-Fred after that. I have to look at the scheduling and see when the next big G-Fred on the gear is. But we're at the top of the mountain. You can ignore the timer in the bottom right. I want to say that we actually started... Oh wow, Raven. Donkey didn't stay to the right. At the thing, which happens. It's kind of hard to stay to the right on that corner up there because it's very narrow. But then Raven, it didn't matter that he didn't stay to the right because he just flew over me. But yeah, in the bottom right hand corner, you can ignore the timer for the most part. Not everybody had the truck, and we like to have everybody racing in the exact same vehicle. And so at the beginning, since we do it as a GTA race, you can let somebody borrow, in essence, your vehicle, and then respawn in theirs, and so they'll have the right car, and then you'll be in your car. So that's why the top left and top right kind of looks like twinsies, because the top left, as usual, is Commander Hobo, and the top right is Raven, and Raven borrowed Hobo's car, so that's why it looks otherwise identical, because they are driving the same vehicle. Though that won't last. That will not stay the case. However, me out here in the front, like I seized that lead early on, and I've been very fortunate this race until right here, when I finally fell off. But for the most part on this race, I've been really fortunate and had a pretty flawless run. Hobo started honking at me, forgetting that I was still flashing, so he wasn't going to hit me. And then he wound up going off the same place I did. The truck bounces just a little bit, and because it's a stunt race, that gets accentuated. No way to make this not a stunt race without completely redoing it. It's because of the props that I have. There we go. Raven is now in a monstrosity. But the props that I use in the race force us to be in a stunt race. It's kind of annoying. Like, I wish I could have the tubes and all the stuff is just visual props. They're not functional. They don't do anything other than just be something to look at. I wish we could have them in a regular race. Maybe I need to revisit this and then possibly completely redo the Will It Off-Road track Because the stunt camera and all of that is a bit much. But it's alright. It's all for a bit of fun, right? Yeah, it's all for a bit of fun. There we go. Hobo and I both managed to stay way to the right of each other. So, what happens now that Raven had to respawn and he's not in the right vehicle? Well, basically, if he were ahead of someone else that is in the right vehicle, he would have to wait for the people in the right vehicle to finish. Normally what we try to go for is to have everybody pick the stock version of the vehicle we're racing if they don't own it. That way that doesn't happen where you have to wait. Granted, you lose out on upgrades and, you know, so you don't get as good a performance that way if you have to respawn. But it also means if you've been doing really well, but then you are stuck in a situation when you respawn, at least you're not going to be, you know, just arbitrarily waiting for other people to finish. At that point, I was just checking to see how far everybody was behind me. Of course, every time I pressed down on the D-pad, you can't see the split, but it was about, at one point it was about 20 seconds that I was ahead on all the racing. And like I said, I just got really fortunate. Things just kind of clicked with me in this truck. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just a better racer when I have a slight fever and some respiratory illness going on. I don't know. Maybe somehow that just enables me to concentrate on the racing. Speaking of respiratory illness, I need a drink of water real quick. All right, much better. There we go. You can, of course, join in on all of our community racing and videos and live streams once live streams finally get a chance to return on my channel. By joining the Vainglorious Discord, you've seen it pop up already once on the screen, and it'll pop up again, but of course in the description down below. You can join the Vainglorious Discord, become part of the community, and then take part in all of our community videos and live streams. As long as you have the game that we have on the platform that we're playing, you will be good to go. I love this jump at the top now because of this massive boost that you get. It just absolutely launches you like halfway down the mountain. Look at that. And then boom. Of course, it won't be present in the next race because the next race is an actual drift race, and drift races can't have boost strips. I didn't know that until I, you know, made a copy of this race and then changed it to a drift one. And it's like, you're going to get rid of all your boosts and special vehicle refill bars and all that. I'm like, oh, well, that's sad, but whatever, I don't care. We get to drift up a mountain. And I thought it would be a good idea in hindsight. Maybe not. Well, we can kind of come to that conclusion through discussion on Discord and here in the comments on YouTube. Sorry, my voice just kind of keeps going on me. It's been a rough day. And it's been a rough week all around. Trying to get video production done when all you really want to do is just sleep. And that's been my week. Is like I've been awake for half an hour. I think I'll go back to bed. Hey, check out this finish. Kind of beautiful. I like it when you get a finish as you're tumbling through the air. So I think that means we'll jump to Hobo's footage. No, I'm going to stay on my footage. That's right. I had trouble getting it edited to where it looked right. So we stay on my footage. So basically we get to see Raven twice. But if you hear the clicks, that indicates, yeah, I'm switching who I'm viewing. And I'm going to switch over to Sparing Donkey, who was with us, which it was nice to have him. Hobo stopped because he's just waiting to try to make sure more people can finish. Because he is going to set off the DNF timer. Why is Donkey going backwards? Oh, he missed the checkpoint. Hobo will set off the DNF timer, so he's just trying to give Donkey and Raven a chance of getting closer to the finish line before he actually finishes, because he'll still finish second, you know, just a slightly longer second. Oh, Raven is sucking some trees. Never mind, he's good. Monstrosity's not treating him well. But Hobo's across the line. Donkey's gonna be across the line once he gets done wrestling with a telephone pole. Yep. There we go. And then that is just going to give Raven 15 seconds to battle his way down the mountain. I don't know, that's really close, but I don't think he's going to make it. I think it's just a little too far off. Yep, Raven is going to DNF. But hey, I managed to get a win and we'll off-road at the races. I'm going to let you look at our finishing screen, and that's going to bring us to our next vehicle. And that is, of course, the Vulcar Nebula Turbo in Drift Spec. The way we're doing this, as far as the vehicles that can be chosen, since there were 4 drift vehicles that came with Bottom Dollar Bounties, I just made it so anybody could use any of the 4. This is just for fun, not for anything seriously competitive, since it's not who's first up the mountain and back down. It's who can get the drift points, and it's really hard to drift on Mount Chiliad. It seemed like every time you bounced and got a wheel in the air, it would kill your drift multiplier. Plus, it's just really narrow. If you manage to, like, here, like if I were to bump these rocks just to the right, just a teeny tiny bit, I'd lose my multiplier. So it's a little frustrating to try to actually do a drift. Plus, it's just incredibly time consuming. I mean, you can tell by the length of the video, we're here, what, roughly halfway the video, and yeah, we're just now getting started really well, so it's a little rough. But the vehicles that are represented, I think Hobo is in the Cypher. Is that what he's in? Yeah, Hobo is in the Ubermax Cypher. In the top right, we have Raven in the Vorschlaghammer. And I had a brief pause to cough and get a drink of water. We have Donkey, who is sliding off to the left there in the Sentinel Classic wide body. And then I want to say that Sven, who was able to join us for this one race, is also in the Cypher. I think that's the case. I don't know. It's all just dust up in front of me at the moment. Sorry for that long pause in commentary. As I mentioned, not doing very well, but you saw something happen in the top left. Hobo had to respawn, and I don't know if he could quite make that out on his screen, but when he did respawn, it mentioned that he had points deducted from his total, which I didn't know was a thing, which is one of the reasons why I think we're probably not going to do an actual drift race again. I mean, it's kind of, you know, for the drift vehicles, you know, at least it's to the spirit of drifting. You know, it's chaining together as many drifts as you can, granted in far from ideal location, with random green drift sections plopped down just because I'm like, hey, what does this do? I wasn't really sure how they would work. I tried to put them in the low corners, but my placement clearly needs work. Yeah, they're not placed very well, I really admit it. But, you know, things happen. You slide off the trail a little bit, or your vehicle can't make it up in a certain area, especially the drift vehicles being low on traction, and you wind up needing to respawn in Roll It Off-Road. The fact that there's a penalty for that, I don't know. I don't really like it. Like there, Hobo just had to respawn again. That I think it's like 3,000 off your score every time, and I don't know. I just don't feel good about that. That something that's going to happen. People are going to need to respawn. If I could turn the penalty off, then maybe I would leave it as an actual drift race, but probably not. But then again, with the drift cars, you know, they are their own set of challenges on the mountain. I mean, every drift vehicle that we've done has been just incredibly slow, which we've only done, what, 2 actual drift cars, I think. We've done this one, and then I think in Chop Shop we did one. Yeah, we did the Drift Tampa, and that was it. That's when the drift cars came out, right? Yeah. So that's all. That is all that we have done, and that's probably all that we'll do unless there are more in whatever the next DLC or 2 is for GTA Online. A lot of people are saying that, like, oh, this winter is going to be the last update for GTA Online ever. I don't count on it. I seriously wouldn't count on it, because why would they let us sit for an entire year, if not more? Because, you know, they're saying the end of 2025 for GTA 6, which I don't buy that for a second. It's going to be 2025 for the release. I think it's going to be 2026, like spring or summer. That's my guess. You know, why here in 2024 will we be looking at our last update, and they can just continue milking cash out of this? I bet we'll see 3 to 4, maybe even 5 or 6 more updates to GTA Online. I wouldn't even be surprised if it doesn't stay running and supported for a while after GTA 6 launches. Unless they've got GTA 6 Online, whatever that's going to look like, ready to go out of the gate, then I don't see GTA Online coming to an end anytime soon. But that's all to say, if there's more drift cars, we will test them. And oh my goodness, I wish there were a timer on this, because we've been going now, what, 6 minutes, and we're just down at the top of the mountain. Granted, that's faster than it was when we were just testing them. Ooh, ow, managed to hit the side. And also managed to need a drink of water. I just noticed on Grander Hobo's screen there were flames in a place where I don't think there's supposed to be flames. I don't know, maybe I was looking at that wrong. Maybe he's lower down the mountain than I thought he was. Okay, never mind. I just managed to look up, I guess, just as he was coming out of that one tunnel, and didn't realize he had been in the tunnel. I'm like, there's not supposed to be flames there. I was really worried right here that I was not going to be able to save this, and I was going to have to respawn. Once I started hearing people complain that they were losing points, and rightfully complaining. I'm not calling them just whingers. They were rightfully complaining about the point deduction. But once I heard them complaining about that, I was just like, no, I am not respawning unless I absolutely have to. Oh, there is. Oh, I see what's happened. Okay, so the tunnels aren't there because it's just stunt props. It just now dawned on me that those aren't there. Wow, there we go. There's the fever impacting my brain after a week of having a fever. It has been, no joke. This is Sunday evening around 8 p.m. and I first started having a cough and a fever Monday. So, Monday of last week, not tomorrow Monday. So it'll be a week tomorrow that I've been ill. Have I been to the doctor? No, please. I'm a content creator. Are you just crazy? We don't have medical insurance. We can't afford to go to the doctor. That's just such a silly concept. Because, you know, God forbid you live somewhere where there's actually healthcare. Yeah, bit of a frustrated thing to have the negative multiplier sound. Granted, I don't think I had much of a multiplier. When I was coming down, for some reason, I thought I was at like a 4. I was like, in fact, in the behind-the-scenes version of the video, I'm like, no, I had a 4, I had a 5, or whatever. I don't know why I thought that. Because looking back at it now, clearly I didn't have anything. But I swore at the time I was doing really, really well. But again, like, probably just a fever dream. I've been having some very interesting dreams because of the fever all this week. It's been, you know, It's like, who needs Netflix and Amazon for some really good sci-fi? Man, my dreams have been just totally, royally screwed up. Coming up with just some bizarre stuff. All on my own, without needing to watch any TV. But the good thing is, I'm not going to make you watch the regular run back up the mountain. Spoilers, I'm going to miss this checkpoint at the very bottom, which this is one that I miss a lot. It's just really far over. I think if I were to come down the other way, I would miss it, but I thought I had gotten it, and I didn't even realize I had missed it. But instead of sitting through all of us going back up the mountain and it taking forever, I have sped the footage up 500%. So it's going by much quicker than it normally would. And even here, once I start getting stuck, it's still a struggle. By the way, I mentioned in the behind the scenes version of Will It Off-Road, that is going to be available to not only channel supporters this time around, just this week only, but it is also going to be available to everyone who is on the Vainglorious Discord server. So if you're a member of the Vainglorious Discord server, just go look in videos and you will see it. I may put it in announcements instead, but I will still have the public version that is there. But if you want to hear our conversation and see a less edited version of the video, plus see all 4 vehicles all in one big long video, it's like an hour and something long, you can do that. And you won't get the mercy though of the sped up footage. It'll be this week, and we're gonna have to do it again next week. We're gonna speed up some footage on the Pizza Boy because it just took a while. So yeah, we will be jumping back to regular running length here, or video speed here in just a moment. Looks like Hobo is going to go across the line first, possibly. I think Sven actually goes across the line before him. Yeah, Sven went across the line before him, so he actually finished first. But then Hobo goes across the line second with 82,000 points. But I'm currently in first place, points-wise. But if you look at the map, 2 have already finished. There's 2 dots ahead of me, so I'm 2 in regards to the finish line last. There is a DNF timer, and that was something that I was just really curious about. Is like, if the person with the highest number of points hasn't finished yet, does the DNF timer still kick off when over half the people have gone across the line? And the answer is yes. So in a drift race, yeah, it's all about your points, but you also still got to try to finish in a reasonable amount of time. Also, would wonder if I would have DNF'd, like what would have happened to my points. Like, I don't know. I've just lost my finishing bonus, but still finished first because I had the most points. No idea. No clue. I haven't done enough drift races. I'm sure some of you guys know. In the comments, you can let me know about it. But yeah, the behind the scenes version, best set of it, you get to hear our Discord conversation. And it is completely ad-free always. Normally only available to channel supporters. You can find out how to become a channel supporter in the description down below. Where you can also find a link to Will It Off-Road Bingo, and you can have a lot of fun playing that. And if you get Bingo, you can be our 6th ever winner. It even works during Will It Off-Road at the races. It's not just regular Will It Off-Road. Man, my car is battered. I didn't notice it earlier. It cracks me up. I think Raven's up there. Like, even though he has gotten close and could have finished, he's just gonna like snag a few extra points here at the end, maybe try to improve his standing. But that did kick off the DNF timer, so thankfully I was very close to the end of the line. Donkey right there in front of me managed to just get that thing to slide sideways up the mountain, but we're down across the line, and I did manage to finish with the most points. So I will be in first place. I want to thank you very much for watching Will It Off-Road at the races. We'll be back again next week with the 2 vehicles that I mentioned earlier, the Niobe and the Pizza Boy. Thank you. I know there's a million things you could have been watching on YouTube today, and you chose this. Probably wishing you hadn't listened to my voice at this point, because I am very sick, but oh well. But until next time, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay vainglorious.